Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another new movie review. Today, we are going to be talking about All the Creatures Were Stirring. I know it's past Christmas, but I took off Monday and Tuesday because everybody else has off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Why can't I have it off, right? I just kind of shifted Mondays and Tuesdays video to today and Sunday, respectively, so yeah, sorry about that, but thanks for letting me have those 2 days off. Really quick though, before I get into anything else, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Speaking of creepy patron peeps, this movie was requested of me to review by one of my patrons, Azul. So thank you for your request, Azul, and let's get into this. Written and directed by David Ian McKendry and Rebecca McKendry, All the Creatures Were Stirring is a horror anthology that follows an awkward date on Christmas Eve in a strange theater. The couple is treated to a series of bizarre and frightening Christmas stories, from boring office parties and last-minute shopping to vengeful stalkers and immortal demons. The co-writer slash director team of David Ian and Rebecca McKendry are actually a husband-wife team, and this movie is both of their feature film directorial debuts. David Ian McKendry has previously directed a couple of horror comedy short films, and Rebecca McKendry is probably most well known in the horror community for her awesome horror journalism and the fact that she co-hosts Blumhouse's podcast, Shockwaves. I gotta give props where props is due, and y'all know how I love a good Christmas horror movie, but I feel like a lot of them have the tendency to replay the same themes. Like, I mean, how many Killer Santas have we seen, right? This movie, with the exception of one short, which I'll talk about a little bit later, has unique and creative ideas for days. All of the shorts, again with the exception of the one, it was so unique and different. Like, it's like I couldn't help but comparing it to A Christmas Horror Story, because that's the only other Christmas horror anthology we have. And I like how A Christmas Horror Story kind of played on already established Christmas traditions, but I really liked All the Creatures Were Stirring for just not even worrying about that, and just like, they were still Christmas themed obviously, but it's not what you're expecting in terms of story, and I thought that was cool. One I did mention was based on A Christmas Carol, which is, you know, something pretty common, but I did think like the little twists and stuff they did add to it did make it unique. It was just the only one that wasn't like 100% unique. It being an anthology, I have to talk about my favorite short in the movie, and this one it's tied for two of the shorts, which I thought were really awesome and deserve some extra recognition. First being Dash Away All, which has a man stranded in a parking lot and he is helped by two strange women. The performances in this short really stood out. You could see the man's slight uneasiness with the women, and you can see their obvious apprehension as if they're hiding something all throughout the short, until, you know, like the big reveal, the twist where you find out what's going on. But leading up to it, like, you're really tense, like, because of their performances, and you're you know, terrifyingly anticipating what these women are hiding. And again, it was really unique and cool and not at all what I was expecting, but I liked it a lot. The other was In a Twinkling, which I feel like a lot of people are talking about with this movie. It's a very sci-fi Twilight Zone-esque story that is, out of all the shorts, is the least like frightening and the least gory. It's creepy, like it's just very creepy in atmosphere, and I love the misdirection, making you think it was going to be some sort of like werewolf or transformation kind of story, and it turns out to be completely different. It was really good, and I like the tone of it, and it did kind of end on a happy note, which it was the last short, so that kind of made sense. But I don't know, it was really well done. And the cast of this movie, I think that's another big thing people are talking about with this film. Like, the cast is awesome. I'll probably throw up a list in front of my face here of the cast list because there are too many familiar faces to list. Like there's so many, but just to name off a few, we have the House of the Devil's Jocelyn Donahue, Crazy Rich Asians breakout star Constance Wu, and Absentia's Morgan Peter Brown, and so many more. There's tons of familiar faces. So for all the great, like, unique and creative ideas that were in each of these shorts, the execution was so bad. Sure, the budget was quite low, you can tell, and that's not really an issue because there are tons of very small budget movies that have been made that are great. It was the editing and perhaps a bit of the dialogue. Like, so many of the jokes just fell so flat, and I'm not really sure if it was due to like the writing of the dialogue or the editing. I feel like the editing wasn't helping the situation because there were just some scenes and shots that just were held for a really long time, and it was almost, you know, just kind of like weird awkward pauses and stuff that was just like, I don't know, like it could have, like, I don't know if maybe they were like kind of quicker cuts in some areas, like the jokes would have landed a little bit better. Like, it's not something that you would think editing would have an effect on, but it's like, it's movies like these that make you realize like editing is very important to a movie. I thought the wraparound story with like the couple on a date in the theater was the weakest bit. The actors had no chemistry. Like, I know it was meant to be a first date and that, you know, like awkward in that sense, but like, did the actors also just meet like 2 seconds before they started shooting? Like, wraparound was so boring that I actually kind of forget how it ultimately ends. And it just dragged. Like, after the last segment, like obviously we go back to the wraparound to kind of finish it out, and it just lasted for so long that I just tuned out. So overall, I was disappointed by this anthology. It had so much potential, and it was just like, I just feel like the execution was just bad. However, the reviews for this film are very black and white. I've only seen either people giving this like a very high score, like 9, 8 out of 10s. I've seen a few reviews saying this movie is to Christmas, or this movie will be to Christmas what Trick or Treat is to Halloween. I'm sorry, and I know I'm completely biased, that's laughable and completely untrue. Or if the reviews aren't saying stuff like that, they're totally ripping it a new one and like, you know, like 1 out of 10, which I also don't think is fair, but you know, it's people's opinions. So I'm gonna give this a score of 2.5 out of 5. On IMDb, it has a 5.1 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has an 86% critic score and a 46% audience score, and on Letterboxd it has a 2.6 out of 5. This movie is available a few places, so Amazon being one of them, so obviously I'll leave an affiliate link in the description if you want to check it out that way. No pressure to use that link, but if you do, it does help out the channel a little bit. I also saw it was available to rent on YouTube, and it's also available on Shudder as well. If you've already seen All the Creatures Were Stirring, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. As always, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video, even though it doesn't always work. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!